Am I audible? Yeah. Hello everyone. I want to thank the organizing committee for this opportunity, and I want to thank our brothers and sisters who have come all the way to show their solidarity and to join us on this very hot day, to join us in this sit-in protest, sit-in demonstration and prayer. I just want to share some points, and I won't take very long because I'm not that good of a speaker, and it's a very emotional time for all of us. So all of us have been traumatized. We can't sleep properly, we can't eat properly, and we sleep and we're scared to wake up because we usually wake up to the news of someone dying, one of our people dying, and you know, death is inevitable. All of us die at one point of time. But what pains us is the way we die, right? The way our people back at home die. So we hear news about every day about our village defense force, the volunteers who's there to safeguard our village dying, and these names that we have here, the 92 names that have been written here, they are not just lists, they are not just numbers, but they are people with actual families, with actual life. They are students with future that have been cut short by this ethnic cleansing that is happening now. And there are women here, in fact a lot of them, one old woman, 70 plus old women who died praying. She was thought dead while she was praying in the church. But then the next day, what did the news tell us about her? The news said that she is a sniper of the Kuki militant, right? So she's a 70 plus old lady. So you have the false narrative that has been, you know, left unchecked by the state. And you know, it's double traumatization because you have people dying, you have your families dying, and the next day you have news about them, very false accusations about how they die. So you find that it's very heart-wrenching, and it's very a difficult time for all of us here. And so you find that this ethnic cleansing, or this has affected attacked us in three ways. First, our identity is attacked in the sense that we the tribals in Manipur, or we the Kuki Joes in Manipur, we have been very proudly claiming, but history is a witness to it, that we fought against the British. We were there fighting against the British in 1917 to 1919, but today in the state where we are in, we have been branded as illegal migrants, you know, and even as history is a witness, and history is a proof that that isn't true. And what is painful here is that when you label someone as different, as outsider, as the other, this is also an act of dehumanizing the other person, right? And secondly, we also have a church, which is a place of, you know, it is our sanctuary. It is the house in which we worship God, and it is a very important place for us. And you find that we have about 253 churches that has been burned down today, and that is very hurtful to us. And in fact, the media, the national media, has different versions of even this. And it is the church as Christian, it is the body of Christ. And it is also a mockery of the Constitution of India, the fact that we have been given the right to worship, we have been given the right for a religious institution, but this has been burned down for us, and the state or the center is silent about this. And thirdly, land is also very important to us, and today how are we called? We are called encroachers to our land. and there has been eviction. We have been forced to evacuate. We have been forced to go out. We have become displaced. We are displaced to other part of the country, and there are about 35,000 people, and that I think it will be even more than this, who are displaced in other states, who are there spread out in 300 refugee camps. And you know how the camps are like. Our pastor just before us had just mentioned that there's not enough water, there's not enough food to eat, there's a lack of space, and you know, it's not just about that. And you have women also there, nursing women, pregnant women, and you know, who are children who are experiencing all sorts of difficulties because of that. And those are actually the luckier ones, because we also have so many of them dying. And like I said before, what pains us most is the way that they had to die. So some of them are butchered, some of them are slaughtered, some of them are burned to death, some of them are raped, paraded naked, and in fact some of them were tortured, some of them were beaten up. And this is not just by a mob of men, but by women. And when I was writing this paper on for the news clip, and I was interviewing some of this family over phone, I was, you know, I could not get back to. I had anxiety attacks, and I had sort of depression, because it was so horrid to hear about what was being done to their daughters. It was so horrid. It's not something that, you know, it's not a crime, or it's not something that one can do that you would imagine someone doing it in the 21st century. So these women who had walked in the valley, had walked in a car wash, and so the mob took her and handed her over to the men, to the mob. And these women were locked up with all those men for 2 hours, from 5 to 7 p.m. on 5th of May. And they were shouting and pleading with them for that long. And when the door of this house was opened, there were hair and blood all over the room. And there were indications, and both of them had already succumbed to the brutality. So this is just one instance, because there are also other cases. And so they are, some of them are not alive to seek for justice, but here we are alive today, so that we can seek justice for our sisters and also our brothers who had died and has been, and in many cases has been labeled very wrongly. So I plead with you all, and I just want to share with you the ground reality, what is happening out there. And it's not, as someone had spoken before me, it's not that we don't want peace, we really want peace, but then we want justice for those of us who had died, who had to die. And we'd also want a truth commission, so that the these perpetrators be singled out, named out, be brought out publicly, because that is justice. And also, we want to thank a lot of you. In fact, I think this is what has been keeping us on, helping us to, you know, to bear whatever is happening to us. We want to thank our brothers and sisters who have been praying for us, and who have been praying for us, supporting us in various ways, standing up for us, and have been really generous in helping us with what we need. We thank you all for that, and we want to ask you to continue praying for us. And I want to end with this verse, because as I was listening to our brothers who have encouraged us, I was just inspired by this verse, and we take strength from this. In Isaiah chapter 54, it says, "No weapon turned against you will prosper. So we use this very verse to strengthen ourselves today, to seek refuge in this by saying that no weapon against us will prosper or will succeed. God will silence every voice that has been raised to accuse us. And I thank you with this. My colleague will expand whatever context or whatever I have missed out, and I thank you for this.